I don't normally like doing videos like this. However, when I see a video like the one I'm going to be discussing now, I kind of get very upset, and the only way I can really have a response to this, I guess, would be to do a video. So, I'm sorry if this sounds like really bitchy or whatever, but it's just something I need to get off my chest because this video really, really bothered me. The video that I had issue with was done by a YouTuber by the name of Dzeeff, also known as Doug, who is a Oracle Rare for TCG player and a Midwest Yu-Gi-Oh player, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but he does go to like the Michigan regionals, so that would probably, I'd assume that he'd be from around there. But anyway, he did a video on the Spirit players having a lack of communication and collaboration, I guess, and or it's kind of interchangeable. And I would have to agree with that. I have only seen a couple of Spirit players that I would take stock from going forward with the level 4 build. I have two major issues with Doug's video. The first one being his unbelievable arrogance, and then the second one being how he wants to go about collaborating with the Spirit deck. So first things first is his arrogance, which is incredibly obvious if you've watched the video, where he says that he won't take other people's advice if they aren't premier Spirit players, or they haven't topped regionals, or they're only done well at their locals. I feel like if it's very different from what you've tested, and it isn't something that you've tested before, like you should give it a shot, because the Spirit decks that he's been playing seem incredibly slow. And I don't see, maybe he's just a phenomenal player, or maybe he just draws Aratama all the time. I don't see how he can just like completely just write off all the other people that are trying to give him advice with the deck. Every Spirit player should be trying to strive for the best build of the deck, which I think is kind of an obvious statement, but I'll say it anyway. If there is a possibility that there is something wrong with your deck, or there's something that you haven't tried that someone else is suggesting, there is no harm in trying it out. What that says to me about a person is that they value their opinion so much higher than other people's opinion that they won't even try something that they don't even know would be good. It's very frustrating. I can't even like put into words how much that kind of bothers me. And then also he has the nerve to say that he's the pioneering. Just by the way, Doug, I gave you the suggestion to use Izanami, and I'd been using that months before that you even came up with your deck. So, just saying. Spirit player, I wouldn't give that title to myself. I mean, I feel like I've been playing the deck longer than most people in the TCG. Maybe not the OCG. I really have no connections there. So, to say that he is the premier Spirit player or his friend is just kind of ridiculous. I don't even know how you could jump to conclusions like that. Just because you topped a regional doesn't make you the premier Spirit player, because there are plenty of people that play this game at a very competitive level online that just can't go to tournaments, or they can't afford the deck in real life. So it just kind of boggles my mind how people can just say things that they don't even know how much impact it has on other people. The other point that makes me kind of frustrated with his video is how he wants to go about collaboration, where he won't take people's advice other than people that have top regionals, which kind of feeds into what I said at the very end. Not everybody can attend regionals. Not everybody has like the ability to. I live in Athens, Ohio, which is an hour away from Columbus, and I don't have a car because I'm at university, and first years can't really have cars. So it's very frustrating to see him just bash people like that. I will be doing my best to go to the Columbus Regional that is this weekend, I believe. But, I mean, I can't even be sure if I'll be able to make it to that. So basically, he's only going to be taking pros advice on a rogue deck, which, if you hadn't noticed, pro players don't really play rogue decks. They play the top tier decks because that is what's been proven to win, and they want to win tournaments, so they're going to be playing what is winning. Or direct counters to what is winning. I mean, some people do that, where like Rodrigo Tagores used Infernities because it was just incredibly fast, and then Merlin used Fire Kings because it just had a really good matchup against a lot of the other decks. So that's just an example of why pro players wouldn't use the top tier decks. Basically, what Doug wants cannot happen. So instead of just accepting the help of Spirit players that have been playing the deck and know what they're talking about, he just complains and says that there aren't enough good Spirit players to be taking advice from. So it just kind of wraps up his arrogance into like another facet of like the game. Spirit players do well, but when they're players like Doug, it just seems very empty. He doesn't know exactly what he's talking about. He hasn't played it nearly as much as other Spirit players like myself or other people online that I know of. And just to say that he has these incredibly high expectations for a rogue deck is just utterly insane. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry if this video is such a departure from the norm for my channel, but it really frustrates me. Thanks for watching. This is Smashing Pumpkin signing out.